Hi, this is Paul. As promised, this is going to be my review of 2016's The Forest. Now, this movie came out in January, and usually bad movies you get dumped in January, or movies that they don't have great expectations for get dumped in January. And sometimes, and usually sometimes horror movies get dumped in January. Now, the reason I got The Forest is because the actress that's the lead actress in this, Natalie Dormer. She's a really good actress. I think she became famous from The Tudors, that mini series about Henry VIII, and of course she's on Game of Thrones, and of course she's on Elementary too, and she's been, I think, in the Hunger Games as well. So she's a she's known and she's famous and she's a good actress actually. So I saw the trailer for this and I want to see it. It's a low budget horror movie, and basically this is a story about two twins, Sarah and Jess, both played by Natalie Dormer. They're twins, and Sarah is the more responsible twin, and Jess is the more wild child twin, and they have that twin telepathy. And Sarah has a history of whenever Jess is in trouble, she runs to her and bails her out. Okay, and at the moment, Sarah wakes up from a nightmare, feeling that something's wrong with her sister, and she tries to call her, and she finds out that, of course, that her sister, Jess, who's teaching in Japan, has been gone missing. There's a famous forest in Japan. I'm not even going to try to pretend to pronounce the name of the forest. They call it the Suicide Forest, where people go to commit suicide, and it's a mysterious forest and supposed to be haunted by demons. And so Natalie hops on the plane. Excuse me, Sarah hops on a plane to search for Jess, and of course she interviews the people at her school and stuff, and goes through her things to try to find out exactly what her frame of mind was and exactly why would she go into this suicide forest. And also during the course of the movie, they show flashbacks to the twins when they were kids and stuff, and their parents died when they were younger, and they were raised by their grandmother. Okay, and this movie, I wanted to like this movie, but the thing is about the movie that I didn't like was that they made the Sarah character, who's in the majority of the movie, they sort of made her character not that likable. I mean, you're supposed to have sympathy for her because her sister's missing, and she's, she has to fly over to Japan and, try to, go over there where, she doesn't know, the culture and all that stuff. And but her character comes off as just really unlikable, just really like disrespectful of the culture and everything. That the people try to warn her, and they tell her, listen, people go into this forest and usually, they commit suicide. And usually people go in this forest and very rarely they come out. And they tell her, listen, you don't want to go stay there at night. You don't want to, make sure you take a guide with you and stuff. But she, she's lunges head on without paying attention and respecting the culture. And it's your sister. I understand that, but you have to be smart about it. And this character is not smart about it. She just, she goes in, she meets an Australian guy who actually works for the Forest Service, and he kind of wants to, when he hears about Sarah and Jess's story, he kind of volunteers to go along with her, but he's more angling for a story. Okay, and she allows him in, and then they go looking for her sister, and without spoiling it, there's a twist in this, that comes like I guess like almost towards the end of the movie, which kind of made no sense to me at all. Okay, and like I said, there's a lot of jump scares in this, but a lot of stuff you really don't understand. And they kind of show you flashbacks of Sarah and Jess, but not enough where you understand the Jess character to me. And I think that's one of the failings of the movie, that the writing isn't as strong for this movie. And they had a right creepy atmosphere because the forest itself, lends itself to to real creepy things happening. But just you have no reason to care about, I guess, about Jess. I mean, they try to go into it a little bit, but you don't really get enough to me to really care about these two characters. And like I said, the Sarah character, who is supposed to be the one that's in charge, the responsible one, she comes off as really arrogant in this movie, and just it doesn't work. It doesn't. you're supposed to have sympathy for her character and what she's going through, her sister being missing and stuff, but she just comes off as headstrong and not listening to what she's supposed to listening to good advice, and it just denigrates into a bunch of jump scares and horror cliches basically. And so I have to say The Force was a disappointment. Okay, with a stronger script, I think it could have been, because Natalie Dormer's a good actress, but I think with a stronger script, okay, and better direction, it could have been a better movie. Okay, but unfortunately, it doesn't have those things. So I'm going to give The Force, unfortunately, I'm going to give it a 5.5. Let's have to give it a 5.5. I was trying to give it a 6, but it doesn't get it. You know, there's all the elements are there, but it just doesn't go there where it's supposed to go. So I have to give it a 5.5. Okay. Ultimately, it's a disappointment. There you go. Anyway, let me know if you've seen The Force. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. If you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. I also have another channel called Paul's Views and Opinions. The link is in the description box down below. Also, links to my Facebook and Twitter are down there as well, so please check those out as well. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.